And Deputy Minister of Trade is in the studio, Carlos Ahinkra. He's also a member of Parliament for Tema West. Thanks for joining me, Carlos.
Thank you.
Okay, and it's nice seeing you once again. You didn't join the president on his trips?
No, my minister went with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were at the back.
Yes.
Seeing to issues.
We had to solve problems back home.
Yeah. All right. Reminds me of the vice president. Usually, vice president, they always they do mop up. So yeah. Mop up. But just on the light. We're talking Galamsey this morning. There was a revelation by Kweku Baku Jr. that apparently there's a big Chinese woman in the Galamsey trade called Aisa Huang. And Aisa Huang apparently, according to Kweku Baku, put together some sex tapes once he tries to exploit the officials and those that he tries to deal with to give her the leeway to do all that. And when you want to get back at her, she uses that as a bait to blackmail. We're told that she's now been arrested, of course, but that talks generally about how big and complex the Galamsey activity has become in our country.
Well, Roland, let me say a good morning to you and to all viewers. I think that as a country, we waited too long to solve this problem. And I would lay the problem squarely on the backyard of political will. You bear with me that not too long ago, we didn't have our environment looking like this. And one would have expected that at least if you're looking for work for people, the youth, you plan something which would be devoid of any kind of or any sort of detrimental activity as far as the people of Ghana or the citizens of Ghana are concerned. I remember in 2009, 2010 when the Youth in Mining program was rolled out, and you ask yourself that if you don't expect to cultivate cassava and reap plantain. So that is the handiwork of like some of the things that we put across. And they should come as an advice to all of us, especially politicians, that the decision you take today, the effects will show only tomorrow. So when you are taking a decision, you ensure that whatever decision you are taking has a major positive attitude towards the people that you are taking the decision for. If I look at the picture on the page, I see the reason why people would be tempted by this.
Are you also tempted?
No, I'm a Christian, so. But the fact is, these people are full of a lot of tricks. They are,
Have you done business with Chinese?
I have been doing business with Chinese for a very long time.
Okay.
And they are very, very smart. They will do everything under the sun to get what they want, no matter what. And I'm not surprised that this has come up the way it has. But however, I think it's not too late. Thanks to the God of the newsreel, of the dailies, Mr. Kweku Baku, we have been able to unearth such a huge story. I think that we should let her understand that what you can do in China, you cannot come and do here in Ghana. Whoever her corporates are, I think the investigation to go further to find out how she got them even into that kind of situation, and see how we can manage for it not to happen again. But currently, what I am happy about is that this current government has that political will to fight Galamsey. And we have done it, and I applaud, especially last time I was here, I said it, and I'll say it again. My own friend and brother, Peter, he's done it and he's managed to do it so well. We tried, we couldn't, he came, he has done it. And I'll pat him on the back. But what he should know is that sustainability in this regard is very important. Gold is money, and money is sweet. He should not allow anybody to bring anything to come and woo him from his present position that he has taken. I know that he's a strong man. Nobody can as it were, change his mind from this, this feat that he has achieved. The Mineral Commission is also forewarned, because you go about giving licenses without checking whether the people are living by the regulations or not. The guidelines governing mining must be enforced to the letter. And so therefore, I think that as a matter of urgency, once we've given people the licenses, we cannot stop them forever. But wherever these people started mining, the law should ensure that they go back there to reclaim the lands before they are allowed to even start again. And there must be a national task force. I mean, we are lucky. Mining is not done throughout the whole country. There are spots where you get these people working. Those who have the licenses to work, there must be a task force overseeing them. Unfortunately, when we form these task forces, they go there and they are bought over. But I think that at least there will be 1 or 2 or 3 people within these task force who will be prepared to help Mother Ghana, like we've all done up to this point. Let the Mineral Commission take the lead in this particular charge and ensure that anybody who is given the license to go there and mine, they are doing it according to specification and regulation.
We'll see how that goes. But at the end of the day, we know that some of these communities live by the trade. And so telling them that altogether they need to stop for some time becomes a difficult thing for them. We need also to make sure that there's some alternatives, right, to their livelihood.
Well, I have been a champion of alternative livelihood. I mentioned it here when the two of us were here, that the reason why I think the sustainability of this action by the ministry and the minister will not be effective is the alternative livelihood that will not give in to the people. If you have given them some alternative action that they should go into this product or do other things, and that will woo them outside the exploration. If you're not giving them anything, the likelihood after 2 weeks they will come back is there. Yes, I heard the news today when I was coming here on Joy FM that some of our brothers who are Circle, where those who sell mobile phones, were asked to stop selling mobile phones and go back and look for other jobs. And they said, well, they were proposing that, well, if you can give us 1 year.
You watched it?
I heard it. When I was coming, I heard it.
Okay.
And they said, oh, you give us 1 year because we don't have any other place to go. We don't have any other thing to do. That is exactly what I have been championing, that let's give the people alternative livelihood. It is a good action, but that action should have an immediate effect. The immediate effect is that move from Galamsey into this. Do that first before you move them out. So, yes, we applauded our brother, but my fear as a Ghanaian, not as a politician, but as a Ghanaian, is that those same people will go back into the trade because they don't have any alternative thing to do. There's no other job. That's what they believed on. That's what they know to do. Therefore, they'll continue, they'll come back and continue plying their trade.
We'll see how that goes. At the end of the day, also, we have to create a certain enabling environment for that resource to be exploited adequately. But of course, we say sustainable in a sustainable manner. By what process do we make sure that the places that have been mined are adequately reclaimed in such a way that is conducive?
Before I come to that, let me buttress what my brother here just said, that this is true. That if we don't find an alternative livelihood or alternative support for these people, certainly they will go back to what they know how to do best. It's like taking somebody to prison for some crime. And as we have all been told, prison is supposed to reform. But if you go there, you don't give the person some knowledge or some, skill. Alternative skill. This guy will come back and go back to the same life. So therefore, there's a food for thought for the authorities in charge who are getting this work done. That whilst we are getting them off or we're getting them out of the forest, we're also looking for a way to get them going. Especially, I mean, I would point to this planting for food and jobs thing. The only difference between that and mining is that mining's money is faster and probably bigger. But there's more risk in mining than farming. And so therefore, I would tell my brothers, sisters and brothers in the villages and the farming communities, that is a time for you to cash in Ghana's drive towards planting for food and jobs. Today, as the Ministry of Trade rolls out this, strategic plans, one of the things we intend doing, it's called industrial subcontracting exchange, where we're going to profile all large-scale companies in Ghana, and of course look at what the small-scale companies can provide, so that we do a matching concept where the large companies will be able to buy off what the small-scale companies are doing. What am I saying? There are companies in Ghana here who need certain raw materials to do manufacturing. Those raw materials can be acquired locally in Ghana. But unfortunately, because they don't have any knowledge of where these people are or where these products can be gotten from, they tend to go out there and import them.
And increasing costs. And
increasing costs, putting pressure on our dollar and so on and so forth, whilst they could have gotten them from here. Yesterday, I was at a factory in Tema. I don't know if you permit me, without giving me a bill, I mentioned here the Eden Tree factory. There's a company.
What factory? Eden Tree.
Eden Tree. The company that processes fruits and vegetables, and all these fruits and vegetables. If you go to Game and ShopRite and stuff, just look.
Are they on the Spinters Road?
Bachona, in the heart of Tema West.
Fantastic.
If you go there, you would see that this is a company that is qualified by all standards to even export their products abroad. They have about 80 line processing plant, which can produce from coconut to anything that you think about. Wow. They have outgrowers that they've given monies to, that they buy the produce from, and so on and so forth. As I speak to you, they're only doing 25% of their production.
The capacity.
Exactly. So they need farmers to supply them with pepper, with onions, with anything that you can find. Just send it to them. They just process it.
Eden Tree.
Eden Tree, yeah.
Eden Tree. I have to go visit them.
Please go visit them and see what you can do for them. Because they need more people to supply them with these products. Don't give me a bill, though.
No bill.
So you see that we are going to ensure that this matching concept bring a lot of relief to people who think that they cultivate produce and they don't get any produce to buy them, so they go rotting. If you decide not to follow money too much and enter into this fray, within a matter of time, short time,
you get your money back.
Get your money back. And what is even interesting in this thing that I'm telling you is that these guys go about giving soft loans to the farmers without interest.
But these people, these young people, supposedly even the investors who invest in Galamsey, do they understand that some of these initiatives are available for them to explore?
That's what I'm saying. That we need to do a lot of education. Okay. We need to do a lot of sensitization for people to know that, look, because that is their worry. I remember one time.
So,
no. When they produce their crops, nobody buys them, so they go rotten. Yeah. Over 150,000 metric tons of cassava go rotten every year in Ghana. Why? Because the farmer would cultivate this produce. He brings them to the roadside. Nobody comes to buy them. They get rotten. So what they do is they just uproot the little that they would need to buy fish and salt from the market, sell and buy fish and salt, and they leave the rest to just rot in the soil. And it is happening. So if they have, say, a factory that extracts starch, for example, and decide to go about buying all the cassava that people cultivate in Ghana, they have a reason to go about planting even more. And this is a sensitization we want the people of Ghana to hear, the people in the Galamsey areas to hear.
And this even dovetails into the one district, one factory initiatives.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, then we can create the multiple jobs that we want.
Exactly. And that is what our friends don't believe that is going to come on, but it will certainly come on.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. Okay. Very soon. Maybe you have not, seen any action in that department because we have not rolled it out yet. Okay. But latest by June, we're going to roll it out. You would see the modalities that anybody has to, apply to get into this one is one factory. We will ask promoters to bring their bids and their business plans and so on and so forth. As for the stimulus package, which is the industrial revitalization program, we have already, started receiving what do you call applications or yes, requests to assist distressed companies. As I speak to you, we have 100 companies that we are looking at. We're going to send consultants to go on them. I think just last week we rolled out a diagnostic tool for companies to go through and see if they fall or they can be captured within that frame. As far as
if they meet the criteria to be captured.
Exactly. And once that is done, we would now go ahead and send the consultants to you to come and assess your whole enterprise and see if you actually qualify or not. Then you move to the next stage of giving you the help.
That's a proper deputy minister giving us fill up.
Yes, it seems Roland.
The Kufadola government looks to be an action government.
Yes, it looks to be an action government, and therefore they can talk sweet. And I hope all these sweet talks will come to fruition, because sometimes I get confused when it comes to this one district, one factory business. In one breath, we said it will be led by private sector. In another breath, government is providing $1 million per constituency to kickstart some of this. So I get confused, but that's a good news for all of us. We want the youth to get jobs. Just as we are saying that we are moving them from one sector.
But you should be happy. It means your constituency will get $1 million.
Of course, of course.
But I'm here, so if you are confused, just ask me.
That's all.
So you don't need to be confused at all.
No. Just
confusing.
Because the $1 million is not going to build any factory anywhere. They say it's for a district. If it's supposed to be used for building a factory, so be it.
In a budget, unfortunately, in a budget, it's stated that part of the $1 million will be used for dam. That's in the northern sector. Part of it will be used for the rural industrialization program. So
they're killing 3 birds with one stone.
So sometimes I get confused.
When they say they get confused, I ask myself, why would you get confused? Okay. When he says he gets confused, I ask myself, why would you get confused when it's a program that is going to come for you to benefit in? So that if you get confused today and it comes and the benefits hits you, then what you're even going to get more confused. Don't get confused right now.
That's all.
What we are saying is we're going to send, there are development projects that Ghana is embarking on already, which is the district assembly concept, bringing development to the grassroots. The MPP government wants to even go deeper to, as it were, let the grassroots enjoy more benefit in terms of developing their own backyard by sending $1 million to every constituency. Now the fact is, that $1 million we're going to send to the constituencies, his constituency is different from mine. His constituency, he might need boreholes, maybe, for example. In Tema West, I might not need boreholes. In Tema West, maybe I might need to do roads, or I need roads. His constituency, he has roads, everything.
Could you come and...
Oh, that's where you live.
That's where
I see. So it is very different when it comes to the priorities of various constituencies. People in the up north would use their money to do dam, for example. I will not do dam in Temawa where I don't need it. So you don't have to get confused. You let the money flow in. At least I'm happy that at least you have seen that in the budget we have made provision for it. 1.3 billion, which is there. 275 constituencies, $275 million. We extrapolated dollar to up to five cities per, and we multiply, we have 1.3 billion sitting down. You will enjoy it, don't worry, very soon. Once you roll it out, you would see that development going on. And you see, you have the opportunity. The people who live in the constituency will have the opportunity to decide that no, instead of buying a pickup to do that, no, let's use the money to bring light to this community which is newly developing and they don't have any light poles, or they don't have money to bring light poles, and so on and so forth. So
thank you very much for the education.
We'll see how that goes. But on the front page of the Daily Graphic, we're told that there's a search for a new Chief Justice that's expected to begin, and the President to present a nominee to Parliament. And how to start with you? The Chief Justice is expected to go on retirement. Is it from next month?
Yeah, from next month.
Okay. And she's paid her due.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's pay tribute to the Chief Justice, Georgina Wood. She's paid her dues to this country. I understand she has worked for over 47 years in public service as a judicial officer, and therefore she has paid her dues, being the first Chief Justice, lady Chief Justice in this country. It is my hope and wish that she will bring her expectation, her experience, and all that she has, to bear when she retired finally from the bench, and also support from the bar and support the rest of those who will take over from her. The names that are popping up, I've seen one Justice Enim Yeboah and Justice Sophia Akufo, as well as Justice John Duche. 3 names popping up. The search committee will start its work to look for a name.
Where is Kabugao, Adadugao?
Atuguba. Atuguba. I don't know why Atuguba's name is not.
He's just not part of, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know why, because he is the most senior, most person there, and I was suspecting that his name also there. Maybe they have considered a lot of issues.
Issues like what?
Issues like having to do with age, because he's also almost getting to retiring age. But I would have preferred that the most senior most person, being Justice Atuguba, will be considered to be the. But in any case, they are looking at the permutation as well. The current Chief Justice is a lady. I would have preferred that we will hand over to a lady, because we have, in the past, we have the Chief Justice being a lady, the Speaker of Parliament being a lady, and the President being a man. And therefore, I would have expected that now that we have the Speaker being a man, that's the second person, third most important person. The other most important person will also be a lady, being Justice Sophia Akufo. But, well, they know better. But if you look at other permutation as well, from what I gathered, we have the Vice President coming from the north. We have the President coming from the central. We have the
That's where it got into.
We have the Speaker of Parliament coming from Greater Accra, the southern side. We need to blend, as our Constitution says, that we have men from other parts of the country. So if Justice Duche is giving the nod from the voter side,
we'll create a balance.
So
from the south.
Yes, south, but down south, and then very south. So, well, I'm not giving.
Mr. Carlos is trying to muddy your argument.
I'm not giving.
This politician, a real politician.
I'm not saying that they should give it to Justice Duche, but I'm saying that it will not be bad. Considering all the, I'm not giving into tribe or giving into ethnicity.
But you're just looking at a certain balance.
Just looking at the
to
balance.
To create some cohesion.
Yeah, so that
and
we
some
can.
harmony. Let me help you.
Yeah, okay. So, Roland, I will go in for either Sophia or Duche.
Yeah. Well, last time I saw him in the regional capital hall the other day. So.
Oh, that's so. Yeah. He comes home often. I mean, he's always in the hotel.
So at the end of the day, what we need is a Chief Justice for Ghana. A Chief Justice who is well-intentioned to continue the good works that the current Chief Justice or the outgoing Chief Justice put in place, and we know that she was very instrumental in a number of the reforms we see in the judiciary currently.
Well, I must say that the handiwork of this lady Chief Justice surpasses everybody's imagination, because I remember on that day when she was inaugurated. No, I think when she was honored by President Kufuor. I shook her hand and said, "You are really into trouble."
You were there during the Kufuor regime?
Yes, you are really
a great woman.
In trouble. I said, "You are really in trouble." I told her, I hope that if she's watching, she'll remember. I said, "You are really in trouble." So, and if you look at what she's gone through all this while, all these problems, this, that, even threats from this Montietre, and all this, you ask yourself, so why would you even put yourself in such a position and get lambasted, get bashed like she did? But she sustained and outlived every threat and managed to get us to this point. I am also privileged to be on the Judicial Committee. I've met her personally, and I think that she's an extremely brilliant woman, very fantastic. I don't think there could have been a better person for this job than her during her time. And she's leaving a legacy which I think that the judicial service should sustain. She shouldn't go far. She should be in the backgrounds. If we need assistance, we need help, we will come to her for that advice. And I am sure that she's ever prepared to give them. As for who is going to succeed her, well, it's the prerogative of the president in consultation with the Council of State. So I won't speculate, and especially for the kind of position that I occupy, it will be ultra-virus for me to try to even belong to one faction or belong to one side. But I can tell you, there are some super justices on that seat who qualify seriously to permanent, so perfectly, take over from the lady Chief Justice and let it work the same way as she managed to make it work. 3 people they put there are only 3. I think we have about 9 other people who haven't come in. And when it gets to this point, there's no who is senior, who is junior. Anybody at all, on the Supreme Court bench can be appointed by the president, and it's allowed. So therefore, whether you are the smallest, you are the eldest, you are the most learned, whatever you have sat on, in most cases, would not matter. I would want people, especially politicians, to stay away from this particular exercise. Let the president himself use his wisdom to select who he thinks would push this country forward, who he thinks would harness the potentials of the judiciary, or who he thinks will bring up the welfare of the judicial service and the personnel therein to the level where we wouldn't find any analysis or situations like that anymore. I also think that in supporting, of course, my brother here, gender balance in this sense wouldn't be a bad idea. Because it's not like it's not been done before. We have seen a Chief Justice just leaving the seat being a woman. If there are women in there, I would only, and that's the only thing I'm going to say to the president, see if it is possible for you to achieve your desire to encourage women into higher positions, as you've always tried to do ever since he became president. And I know he's thinking on those lines. So therefore, without getting myself in too much trouble, I like to say that politicians are going to stay away from this particular exercise. Let the president himself take his decision and consult with the Council of State and see what we come up with. But whatever the decision is, or whatever choice the president is going to make, Roland, you would marvel.
But you have to say that for the current Chief Justice.
Yes, and just to add a few things to what Carlos has said, I'm surprised anyway that now politicians should stay behind. The president will take a good decision. I remember when the opportunity came for the former president to decide who should become the electoral commissioner, politicians stay behind. He took his firm decision, and the current commissioner for electoral commissioner was selected by His Excellency the former president, and we've all seen what she has done. And therefore, I want to also agree with him that politicians will not badmouth her. Politicians will not say things that will make her believe that she's not good for the job. So yes, the current Chief Justice has done very well, extremely well, as he has mentioned. And therefore, all applauded her. I think it will go down the history of this country that she's one person who has done very well. When even the former president, the late Professor Mills, the pressure was on him to remove her because she was appointed by the previous administration before him. He decided, no, this woman, I want to work with her. The same thing applies to his successor, John. Also, they said, I want to work with her. And she has done very well. She's brought a lot of reforms, as you said, when this issue came up concerning the
alleged bribery.
bribery. She stood her grounds and did whatever needs to be done, and she brought a lot of reforms. During her tenure, we've seen the new courthouse, judicial house built, and she commissioned it with the assistant of the previous government administration that put up that building. So she's done very well. It will be one of her legacies that we've had a chief justice in this country who was a lady who has done extremely well.
And during her period, we saw an election petition. I think it's in the history of the West African sub-region. So
she managed it well too.
Yes, yeah, she managed it well.
Except that.
Except that what? Continue. So, but still, my plea, Doche should be given a nod. I wanted Akufo, but
don't worry, I'm sure the president is watching.
Yeah, the president has to watch. And
I want us to please give me the daily graphic. I wanted us to look at the National Health Insurance Scheme and the new dialogue that we need to do, because currently we owe in arrears of about 12 months in arrears. Now, the previous government had been saying that we needed to make sure that we expand the funding for the scheme. Let me start with you, Carlos. We know we take some money from VAT, we take some money also from the communication levy, etc. But ultimately, this is not politics. The campaign is over. Reality has come to hit us. The service providers are crying because they were promised that they will be paid not too long. But if the finances are not good, then we don't have to run away. We have to be real. What do you say? It's supposed to be a national dialogue.
I am glad that you have started by saying that we should eschew political sentiments
out of this.
But you see, Roland, you still have to go back and ask yourself a question. So then, what did they see that they promised the one premium?
The one-time premium.
The one-time premium. Just to woo Ghanaians to vote for them to come to power. Today, you said President Mahama said that we should open up, blah, blah, blah. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
The previous government?
Yes.
So I said something, I said, look, it's not possible. One-time premium. You come and stand and you pay one, you pay again. See.
Oh, that was the first term.
What first or second?
2008.
It was said.
Oh, are you talking about 2008?
Carlos,
you are talking about
you have been a politician now.
No. But
you see, if we don't open up this scheme, it will fail. The government alone cannot handle it. It's as it is a Father Christmas kind of a program.
We're kind of running a charity.
Exactly. Because if you look at the fact that people are paying that paltry sum of how much is it?
It depends. 2.5.
No, not the
okay.
NHIS. I'm saying what people have to pay fiscally if you are not a contributor to SNP.
It depends on.
10 cedis?
Yeah, 10 cedis.
It's not much. You see, then of course those who are contributing, who are paying, are not also supposed to pay anything at all. Are we getting any money from SNP in that regard to come and support this? We should look at a way of expanding the program in such a way that we'll get private people to enter the fray. And of course come up with programs which would ensure that people who want a step up or top up cover can go and get a top up cover. As it is, it got to a point in the time of the last regime or previous regime that you go to the hospital, they tell you that the NHIS only covers the card. In fact, they won't even tell you. They will just give you your card. Every medicine that they give you, you have to go and buy. Prescription. So therefore, it meant that the NHIS that you were holding only covered the card that you were going to pick. Because if you don't have an NHIS, when you go to pick your card, you have to pay 10 cedis. You understand? In the meanwhile, if it really work, there are certain diseases or certain ailments that
don't get covered.
Good. So therefore, if I can pay a little bit more and cover an ailment that I don't envisage or I don't think that I'll ever get, why shouldn't I have the opportunity to do that? So it is good that we open up this program by going the way the writer has mentioned, that we should have a national dialogue on this, bring the experts in, have thinkers coming up to give us how it is done in other countries, so that we would see how we can shape it up to help Ghanaians and, of course, make it sustainable. As it is today, anything can happen, but for this government, those people we are owing 12 months or more wouldn't have, had any hope at all. But today, as I speak to you, arrangements have been made to get them paid. And we don't intend to stifle anybody of their livelihood or stifle anybody of their capital. But the fact is, for how long can we sustain this? It's going to get to a point that it would just screech to a halt and nothing can be done. So therefore, I expect us to sit or open up that dialogue where people will come and bring their minds and bring their ideas or tell us how it is done elsewhere. Get private health insurance companies involved. Categorize or arrange the ailments in such a way that if I want to go 200 Ghana cedis a year as my cover, at least I know that even when I get an accident, probably I'll be covered in an emergency or an ER. So I support the idea of the national dialogue.
Yeah,
the national dialogue.
We have been of the view, NDC has been of the view that, just as you also mentioned, that we should have a national dialogue. I remember in our 2012 manifesto, we even stated that we're going to use ABF fund, that's the annual budget fund, part of the fund, to support the national health fund. But during the campaign, you said the campaign is over, and therefore we should not talk about the campaign. Our colleagues said national health insurance and they're in the fourth month now, and they are crying. You see, if you are not on the seat, you will not be able to know what is going on. They were not on the seat. So when we call for a national dialogue, that let us look at the funding mechanism, how can we sustain this? We are not saying that we will not be able to do it. We want the buy-in from every stakeholder. Today, they are calling for the buy-in. They are calling for a national dialogue. We will support it because we want this nation to grow. We are social democrats, and social democrats simply means that less government interject and support the society, those who cannot afford. It is not that we don't have the private sector or private insurance company that are doing health insurance. There are so many private sectors that are doing insurance. And if you can afford, you're going for it. But those who cannot afford, those vulnerable people who cannot, even buy 3 square meal a day or 2 square meal a day and cannot afford for medication or cannot buy health insurance from the private sector, how do we take care of them? They are in the majority. These are the people we want to take care of. So let's have a national dialogue. How can we fund it so that our health system, people who cannot take care of their health system, people who do not have the resources to be able to pay for medicine or go for medication, will be supported, and will support it. So now let us all agree that next time when we are on our political platform, we will not be castigating each other.
No politics.
No politicking, because
the
health care of every Ghanaian is paramount to all of us.
No, but what is Emma talking about? We did not say
about excessive campaigning, trying to.
There's no excessive. We said that it is true that
heaven on earth.
See, the point is, no, but we are doing it.
So 4 months now, you couldn't pay.
You couldn't pay what?
Have you paid?
No. Oh, you just heard me saying that we have an agreement to settle those people who are.
You only paid a month. Out of the 12 months.
Yes, that's
so
haven't we done anything? Are you saying that paying a month out of 12 months and paying 0 out of 12 months, you have done nothing? No, the fact is, we are showing a goodwill. The goodwill is that, this guy is given the opportunity, they will pay us our money. That is what we intend to put in the minds of the people, the suppliers. You give them no hope at all. And that is what, people were made to believe. That, if we have sat down for 12 months and nobody has received anything, that means that the scheme is collapsing. And true, we were not the ones saying it. Maybe you heard it from us on the platform, yes, but it was from the people on the ground.
The service providers and those who interacted with
the people who enjoy the scheme or people who patronize the scheme. They go to the hospitals and it's only the card that it covers, and they come out to say it publicly.
My brother,
so we only echo
the good people of Ghana has voted for you.
Mr. Bedzrah, are you saying that
they have voted for them?
Your constituents were not complaining that some medicines that were supposed to be on the medicines list covered under the national
Roland, I've mentioned that is why our party, our government, the previous government, said that we should have a dialogue and see how we'll fund it. So I am happy today they are in for dialogue, and so that we can support it.
Let's tackle this. And let's go. This one, front page of the Daily Guide. No Mahama for 2020. Apparently, there's been. It says the Kwesi Botwe Committee's final report on the abysmal defeat of the NDC in 2016 general election is likely to create sharp divisions. Apparently, we're told that the report is 67 pages. Maybe you haven't cited it. It's been leaked to the media. That's a problem. Let me tell you. This is what it says. It says, the report, quote, the MPP won because their leader was acclaimed to be incorruptible, while ours was tainted with corruption and bribery. So going into the elections, we propose that that's their recommendation, that we elect somebody who can also claim to be incorruptible. That's a report. And then I have more quote for you. Relax. I see that you are not fine. The loyalty of those, it said the Kwesi Botwe Committee reports indicate that Mr. Mahama encouraged formation of splinter groups like Youth for Mahama, Friends for Mahama, Zongo for Mahama, Girls for Mahama, Celebrities for Mahama, Ambassadors for Mahama, Doves for Mahama, and resourcing those groups to the detriment of the party. And so the committee is quoted. The loyalty of those groups formed in support of former President Mahama was in doubt, as they were not under any supervision. I ask you are Kimping on the party. You are three-term in office as MP Whole West. Tell me.
Well, this is
it's not true.
Haven't cited the document, and therefore I will not.
Daily Guide, they don't publish things roughly.
So I'm surprised if it's coming from Daily Guide. Then it's a lie. I don't want to believe it because no documentation, no report has come out, and how can
you're an experienced politician, don't you?
Yes. How can you, Roland, tell me that a report will say that a former president, should not be allowed or barred from contesting? I mean, it's never done anywhere in this world. He is allowed, and that's what the Constitution says. All we have to do is to go into the election. If he wins and we all support him, he goes for it. But for a report, so I don't want to believe it, that this report has anything to do. It is the imagination of the writer who slept and woke up and think that, yes, looking at it, he was tainted as corrupt. And I don't believe there's any report like that.
But at the end of the day, the committee was supposed to be going around to collate, and now it's gone round.
Yeah.
But when it was going around, there were some negative feedback. What do you think that were some of the things you also picked up?
I will tell you.
You also picked up,
yes.
Let's say, from your constituency.
I will tell you.
Because when you go to your constituency, you drive through where my area, you go through motorway, you go through Afienya, you go through Akosombo, Adomi.
One of the major causes of our defeat has to do with the expansion of our electoral college. That has created a sharp division right down to even the police station or what we call the branches. If you have members expanding the electoral college, never done anywhere in this world.
Defeats in national election you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about what led. I mean, what started it. If I have this group of people, I won 64%. Now I have 3 people contesting me. They also have groupings in my constituency who believe that, this person should have done. After that, we had reconciliation. People still harbored those, anger that their person did not win. The 26% of those who, the 36% of those who did not vote for me now took over and decided, okay, next time we'll do this guy in. So, that was a major thing. And in the report, I believe that is going to feature prominently that we should have just allowed the
existing structure
to work. Now, when you open it up, those police station officers said, well, if you open it up, that was our cocoa season.
Then anybody can go in.
Anybody can go in. I mean, we do not matter again. So when it came,
are you saying that created apathy?
It created a lot of apathy. it created a lot of apathy because, well, during the primaries, I also have interaction, you know, and whatever needs to be done will be done to me. But now it's open up. Okay, let everybody who voted also go and campaign. We thought it was a good and a perfect, you know, suggestion that we open it up because we are opening the frontiers of democracy. But unfortunately, we did not manage it well, and that has largely affected us.
But it's in your constitution.
It's in our no. What is in our constitution is 9 police station executives.
You see, I don't understand why former President Mahama would not come out to say, look, NDC, I am not going to stand for any elections anymore. So have your peace.
Why not?
Because, you see, what is happening... yes,
MPP people are afraid of him.
Mahama. No, please. You see, I won't go there because my former president, so I wouldn't want to do anything that would look like disrespecting. But I think that he's the least of our problems. As far as I'm concerned, I think what is happening right now is more demeaning to the president than even they vote him back into power to come and be the flag bearer of NDC. This is a former president who has led the party for about 6 years, 6+ years. If nothing at all, at least he deserves some respect from his own members.
So they should bring him back?
No, well, if I were him, I won't come back. What are you coming to do? You have been a president before. What if, I mean, in 6 years, if there's nothing that you couldn't do?
He has something to prove, to go 2 terms, another term.
Just going 2 terms and what? You came 6 years and look at the rot and the mess that happened behind you.
Please.
No, well, excuse me, but if that is how I see it.
Yeah, true.
Because, and the mess is coming out from Cocoa Board, from everywhere, from energy sector, everywhere. You see, the question is, why would you allow yourself to be ridiculed in this manner? This time, it's not MPP, it's not the opposition which is ridiculing you. Your own people. Look at the report that eminent persons in NDC have come up with.
Do you believe this report?
Of course I do.
Oh, okay.
Of course I do, for only one reason. I do in the sense that these things have been mentioned on several occasions whilst Gosibutwe and his people were on the road.
Were you also part of the committee that was going on?
No, I wasn't, but we had it on radio.
Even when commotions.
When they got to Eastern region, they were chased out of Kufuria. You would heard this one.
They didn't chase
well,
them. There was commotion.
There was commotion. Good. And
they were not chased out.
They were not chased out.
And we had people coming on radio complaining, some people saying that he was running the government with his friends and family and blah, blah, blah. And some people saying that his brother has taken over.
No, that's NPP people were saying it.
No, it's NDC. You are not listening to me.
No, I wasn't.
I'm
not listening to you.
What I'm saying is, at this juncture, MPP is not saying anything about Mahama. It's his own NDC people.
You sure?
I'm telling you.
Because you guys are preoccupied with governance.
We have something too important to do.
Serious.
And we are not going to talk about Mahama, because Mahama is the least of our problems as I speak to you today. Look.
It's not Otiko or Bugrina.
You reminded me. I forgot about that issue.
No, but you see, let us be serious about this.
Otiko and Bugrina.
President Mahama is a president, or has been a president of Ghana. He has been my president. Yeah. He has been your president. At this juncture, I think that he say enough is enough. If this is what my own people are going to say, or if this is how my own people are going to treat me, thank you very much. I don't want...
Carlos is your friend, so you can send me a letter.
Well, I'll send him a text message. Okay, and I'll let him... And I wish he's watching now. Don't allow yourself to be ridiculed in this manner. You have a family, you have kids, you have people who respect you. Enjoy your pension. Just go about doing what. Go horse riding. Go to South Africa.
Carlos Ahinkra is the deputy minister of trade.
Tell Carlos that he should go and talk to
member of parliament for Tema West.
He should go and talk to Bugri Nabu and Otiko Jaba.
And Emmanuel Bedzrah is a member of parliament for Whole West, and he's a ranking member on the governance assurance committee.
Yeah.
Charlie, you were the chairman then.
Yeah.
Charlie. All right, we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you this year.